Hello and welcome to the final day in the arena for this iteration of Young CGB. Yep, this is going to be the last one from this particular series. Probably not the last ever. Anytime that there is a rotation or significant meta change, a whole new generation of players are going to need to see how to enter the game, what the economy looks like at that point. It's important to remember, we are in a closed beta right now. There will be an open beta. There will be a wipe, meaning we all start over. There will be new card sets coming very, very soon. And there will be rotation, meaning some cards that are legal now will not be legal later. If you're not sure what all I'm talking about, search for MTG rotation in Google. I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritties right now, but let me promise you one thing. Things will change. And as they do, Young CGB will have to return and try to provide a place for new players to come to see how to get started in Magic, how to get started in this version of the arena and the arena economy, and how to have a really, hopefully the greatest free-to-play experience. We've done about 3 weeks in the arena here. I believe I'm on day 16. In that time, I think we've earned over 30,000 gold and plenty of wild cards. We have several decks. Some of these were gift decks like History Lesson, Under Control, and Scurvy Dogs, but most of these are decks that we've built ourselves, including Singleton, and some of them highly competitive decks that can win 7 games in Quick Constructed, as we've done here on the channel on the rare occasion. It's not common to always win 7 games, but it is common to compete, get your money back, and get through your quests. So I'm very happy. I'm happy with how the experiment, this series, has gone. I'm very happy with the support it's received and all the nice words that have come because of it. Every time somebody logs into Discord or comes over to Twitch chat to tell me that they just got to 7 wins for the first time ever in Quick Constructed using one of my decks, it feels great. It's a great reason to continue. And what I stated a few videos ago, and just to restate it in case anybody missed it, or just to make sure we're all on the same page, the longer I keep doing the same account, the longer I keep grinding it, the more my collection is going to start looking different from yours. Right now I have 2 Nicole Bolas, I have 4 Regal Caracal, I opened a Tezzeret, I opened a Teferi. There are so many different cards from where you will be that eventually it's just going to be hard for us to build decks together. And the point isn't for me to be right there with you all the time saying, play this, play that, play something else. When you get started in Magic, yes, it really helps to have a friend. It helps to have somebody to tell you why this card is good, why that card is good, to tell you how many lands you need, and to try to put together a deck that works so you can play with it without thinking about if the whole problem is your deck building. I totally get that. I appreciate that. That's what this is here for. However, you're all grown up now. You've been playing for 3 weeks. You've crafted some cards. If you go back and watch the series, I explained many times along the way all the reasons why I do what I do. Take those reasons, apply them to the next cards that you want, to the next decks that you want to build. Use some of the resources I mentioned, like some of the websites on the internet that you should go check out. Star City Games, MTG Goldfish, Aether Hub. Look at decks other people make. Find what speaks to you and craft in a way that lets you play the kind of Magic you want to play. The awesome thing about this game is it's something for everybody. All right, this is your coach telling you, you don't need my permission anymore. Run out there and do what you want to do. And if you need help, if you need advice, if you have questions, we still have those sections in our Discord channel, which is totally free for new player questions and for deck building advice. I can't promise you that there will always be somebody immediately available to talk about your deck with you, but we do have over 1,500 people in there and still growing every day. Hopefully somebody can be there to give you some good advice. And if not, I'll pop in every now and then. I'll do my best. I know it's my channel. I'm a very busy person, but I do try to jump in there and answer some what we call, I guess, fan questions and advice questions from time to time. All right, let's play some Magic. On our way out the door, I've created a Grixis control deck with our 2 copies of Nicole Bolas the Ravager, and it's a pile of removal, card draw, and Bolas. So let's go have some fun. Our quests are to cast black and blue spells. This deck is mostly black and blue, should be a piece of cake. Let's make the Scorpion run. Oh, yeah. Well, we've got the Aether Hub, we've got the Harness Lightning, and the Glimmer. So hopefully between the Glimmer and the Harness Lightning, the Aether Hub will produce the mana we need. Another thing I can't stress enough, you new players out there enjoying the series, you are upgraded. You are ready. If you have watched and played Magic for the last 3 weeks, played along with this account, listened to all the things we talked about, you are ready to go watch my regular videos on the regular CGB account. And you should. You should absolutely start watching those videos, trying to craft those decks if they really speak to you. You can follow along. You know what you need to know. Let's get you out of there. Maybe I should have waited and seen what my opponent's next play would be. Feel bad. Well, would have happened anyway. Paid off for bad form. All right. Run, Scorpion, run! So, Aether Hub, it has blue mana and red mana available. 2 Aether Hubs isn't ideal and is a little scary. Our opponent has a creature in the graveyard, so this dying would just come back, but our opponent hasn't shown us a black mana. I think we'll let it resolve. And we will make red mana. And we will Harness Lightning. And we'll pay 2, so we still have an extra energy around for our Aether Hub. Blow that up. Then we'll play our Field of Ruin, because if our opponent can make black mana, it's likely to be with a non-basic. Well. We could spend all our energy on this Nicole Bolas and have no energy left. I hate that idea. I really do. What I want to do is Glimmer to at least build up an energy stash and hopefully draw some colored lands. So as much as I want to Bolas my opponent right now, I'm going to hold back. I'm going to show some restraint. Here's a Pia Nalar. That's actually a card I wish to counter very, very much. But it's also not a huge threat all alone, so I'm going to let it resolve. I think we can overpower it. I think we have to find the turn to Glimmer as soon as we can. Glimmer's an awesome card, but you take your whole turn off from doing other things when you cast it. Ooh, the Duress is interesting. But no, I don't think this is the right matchup. Our opponent probably has Chandra. Maybe a Duress would have been right. We can still sit on the Syncopate. Just thinking. And if our opponent does play a Chandra and kills the Bolas, that's really bad. But they've been struggling on mana, so they'd have to hit the Chandra right now. Let's make them do it. And I should have kept the Duress, I suppose. But I couldn't have played it this turn anyway without spending another energy. Golden Dragon, baby. Look at him. He's so iridescent. Is that the word? Well, fast engineer. So our opponent does play a heavier black component. And they found their swamp. Will it be the Chandra? It will be the Unlicensed Disintegration. Also pretty nasty. But at least it's not the Chandra. So Graveyard, it's got a Glimmer. That's definitely a good card to get with the Gear Hulk if we draw the land. And our opponent on that basic swamp means they don't have to fear the Field of Ruin. There we go. So we'll Gear Hulk Glimmer when our opponent comes after us with the Pia Nalar. Should be good. We're Hostage Taker, you really want to hold it until you can play the card you steal or until your opponent has no hand. Because otherwise, if they kill the Hostage Taker, they just get whatever you tried to steal back from you. Now, this is a little scary. Our opponent could have an Abrade. If they do, they don't have it yet. And most of the time, the best thing to get are your 4-mana instants, Glimmer or Vraska's Contempt. And Glimmer is awesome, so never feel bad. Oh yeah, those are both removal spells that can be very helpful. Vraska's Contempt being the best of them. Cast Down can't target a legendary creature, but we can block this Pia Nalar. And there's the Chandra. I knew you were lurking.
You want to go, tough guy? Stop, drop, and roll won't help you, buddy.
Alright, so I'm thinking I should duress my opponent and play the Hostage Taker and make my opponent find a way to stop it. Let's get in their hand and see what we see. Another Chandra. Excellent. Their other card is a Kari Zev. which we can knock out of the way with an Abrade. So yeah, we're going to play the Hostage Taker. Hostage Taker is going to remove the token, and now our opponent has to find a way to stop the Hostage Taker or it kills the Chandra, and that lets me keep my Vraska's Contempt. It is the best removal spell.
Down.
It answers all the things, and it looks like our opponent only hitting a land off the top. Here comes Kari Zev, and they can get back their Scrap Heap Scrounger when they want to. But Vraska's Contempt can exile the Scrounger so it never comes back. Alright, let's make a mana. 3 damage to your Kari Zev. Our opponent was really hurt because they missed some land drops early. And I think that really cost them in this game. Plus we are a Grixis, big old pile of removal spells. Alrighty, we've got 3 more creature spells to cast and a handful more spells. Let's not slow down. Oh, we usually get in that deck box and have a look at it. I'll have to remember after the next game. Well, that's probably a lie. John Finkel is the greatest Magic player of all time. I think that's a universally accepted thing. There are some other people who could be in the conversation, but Finkel is widely just called the GOAT, or greatest Magic player of all time. He's also on the record as saying that he hates Magic Arena, which he tweeted that all kinds of reasons that he despises Magic Arena. So I find it very unlikely that he is here playing right now with us. I could Duress now or hold up the Essence Scatter. I think I will Essence Scatter. The 2-drop spot is a place where Kari Zev could live or Shaker Kenra could live. We don't want to fall too far behind. Scrap Heap Scrounger could live. Just slowing him down that way. Seems good. Also gives our opponent another turn to draw into something that we may wish to duress. So that's what we're going to do now. Hit an Abrade. So it looks like we're up against at least 2 more creatures, the Onkrap Crusher being the one that can do the most damage. And we are a little slow. If we don't draw a removal spell next turn, we're going to take 7 damage, 8 damage, before we can even get back at our opponent, so to speak. And it looks like that's the case. This is going to be one of those games where we have to come back and come back strong. Glorybringer will try. He will try. Let's see if our opponent drew another relevant threat yet. Glimmer also will try to find some Vraska's Contempties. The more you cast, the better. There's another Apprentice. And let's resolve that Glimmer. You gotta be okay with falling behind when you play Control. It's just part of the game plan. Alrighty, there's a pair of removal spells, which is actually better, I think, than Bling and Glory here. Our opponent does have, if they drew Unlicensed Disintegration, it is available here. So yeah, I think that the sooner we shut this down, the better. Let's play a Field of Ruin. Our opponent, if they don't bring back the Scrounger, I think they can't, right? Maybe we end up, yeah, 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can blow this up. If they have a basic swamp, they can go get it, though. Maybe they don't run a basic swamp. Some don't. Anyway, it's going to let us Fatal Push this Crasher. What we want to be careful of is him being able to bring the Inventor's Apprentice back. Oh, really, man? That hurts. I said bring back the Inventor's Apprentice. I meant the Scrap Heap Scrounger to pump the Inventor's Apprentice.
Screaming, I know I'm on track.
Now it doesn't really matter. Chandra's here. Now we're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Okay. My opponent considering going for lethal? I mean, you can't get back the Scrap Heap this way. If they made mana to get back Scrap Heap Scrounger, they messed up because it requires black mana, which they didn't make. And it looks like that's the story. They wanted to get back Scrap Heap Scrounger to pump the Inventor's Apprentice. I think I'll get another island. Yep, he does have a basic swamp, so that's a little frustrating, but it's the way it is. Let's push you. And I think I hold the Harness Lightning for the Scrap Heap Scrounger, because, yeah. Yeah, this has a 1/2. Isn't that bad? And I'm going to normal attack the Chandra in hopes that I can get it dead by next turn. So I didn't exert my Glorybringer. It can exert to kill whatever the opponent's next threat is. And then it can attack next turn, hopefully if it lives, and kill the Chandra. I think that's my road to victory anyway, is not exerting it to kill this now, but attacking the Chandra twice.
This will be easy.
What could it mean? Okay. Nasty. Unlicensed disintegration, baby. And too many lands. Good game, opponent. I have to cast spells, so I'm going to quest now. And then I'm going to concede. As you see, we don't get the better of the red deck all the time. If you miss even a little, they will get you, which is why it's a good deck to play itself. Let's get into here. 2 Duress, 4 Push, 2 Syncopate, which, you know, they kind of go into 2 or 3 drop mode. They don't really hang out on 0. Anticipate, because I love it. 2 Essence Scatters, 1 Negate, which is, you know, that's about all the counter spelling. The rest is deal with the board. 2 Cast Downs, 2 Abrades, 2 Harness Lightnings, just lots of ways to murder stuff. A Ravenous Chupacabra, a Hostage Shaker, 2 Bolas, the Ravager, some Glimmers, some Contempt, a Dark Intimations, because why not? And then we have Angrath, the Flame Chained, Scarab God, and a Glorybringer to go with 2 Torrential Gearhulks. The mana base, we've got a bunch of 2-ofs. We got 2 Field of Ruin, 2 Evolving Wilds, all 4 Aether Hubs because it's kind of the best mana fixer we have right now without all these rare dual lands. We play the rare lands wherever we have them, like Spirebluff Canal, Sulphur Falls. We got 2 Drowned Catacombs hiding in here. I haven't crafted any of them, obviously. It's just what you win. But then we have even the tapped lands, which aren't very good, are still worth running in a deck like this to try to at least make your mana playable. And that's the deck. There's a lot of ways to build Grixis. I'm not going to preach that my way is best. I'm not a Grixis super aficionado. You can deep dive on every single card in that deck and talk about why play it over another. Every removal spell, every counter spell, everything that you can find, you can debate, and I'm totally into that. You should play the cards that you like, the cards that speak the most to you, the cards that beat the decks that tilt you most is also a pretty good way to look about it. My version is mostly built to try to compete with red decks by having a lot of early removal. You may tilt hardest against Control and Turbo Fog. That means you should play more Duresses and more Negates. My opponent, well, they're playing 64 cards in their deck, and they're mulliganing down to 4 cards. The 60 card debate is one that has been around Magic a long time, and I recommend just always building 60 card decks, constructed, and not questioning it. What can I say? Again, some of these longer debates are better suited for other channels like Discord, forums, articles that you can read, as opposed to me on YouTube preaching. So I try to stick to the games and strategy that is, for the most part, undeniable. But Actually, all of it is deniable. You can debate any part of it. But strategy, I would say that I feel fully confident in. That advice I feel comfortable giving to new players. I don't take that lightly. I take that job seriously. I care about you getting decent information and having a good experience. Therefore, the information I share, hopefully you can trust it because I'm thinking about that as I go. And I'm not perfect. I'll get things wrong sometimes. But my intent is pure. Get out of there, Bomat. This is why we brought the fatal pushes. It looks like we're going to be in our third straight red-black-ish deck. And we're going to be going right after them. No mercy. Double Bomat, huh? It's awkward because duressing them almost helps their Bomat. I guess not really. If we get a Chandra, we get a Chandra, baby. No apologies. Karn, Unlicensed Disintegration, Abrade. Well, that Unlicensed Disintegration could be frustrating. But I'm going to take the Karn for sure. I don't want to fall behind on the board, and Karn does that. Karn is a killer. Alright, what are we getting dubs of? Black, right? For Vraska's Contempt? Makes the most sense. But double black doesn't help me cast Bolas for free. I would have to spend energy. But I can spend energy. I have Glimmer. What we don't... Well, I guess I should play to the hand I have, not the hand I hope to draw. So yeah, I'll get a blue. I'll get a blue. Our opponent finds Bomat number 3. Well, they're going to have little piles of cards. I'm curious to see how they handle them. And we're not going to have piles of removal like we should. So I could play this Bolas. My opponent untaps Unlicensed Disintegrations, but they tap out to do it. I get their last card with Dark Animations and get Bolas back. So as much as this is going to hurt, we're going to get their Abrade. They're going to untap, draw a card. If it is not a land, it will still be in their hand. And they will Unlicensed Disintegration Nicole Bolas. I will untap, play Dark Animations. They will sacrifice one of their Bomat Couriers. They will discard that last card. And I'll have Bolas back. And at least one of the Bomats will be gone. Unfortunately, the other one will have basically a new hand. Still, these are the tools we have to work with. Let's see what we make them discard. Make it something good, I hope. I think it's another Unlicensed Disintegration. Holy cow. Yeah, that's not bad. Bolas returns. Bomat's coming at us. So what we want to do is find a removal spell to force them to pop this so we can duress them. Oh, they're going to do it now. Oh, okay. That's interesting. And then they play the heart. Oh, no, this isn't going to work out for them at all. All right, so we're going to duress you. Miss. Our opponent has a Hazoret, though, which we have a Syncopate for, so we're going to pass the turn. And it's their only way to crew the heart. See, the duress, just knowing the Hazoret was there was almost like gaining a card. I'm just going to pay the full 3 because I can. And now they have 2 cards, one of which is a land, but they're scooping. They can take no more Bolas's torture. They can take no more. Oh, what's this? A pack, you say? And a quest complete. One more creature spell to cast to complete another. And a rare wild card. Oh yeah. When you are a new player, there's not much better than rare and mythic wild cards. Hard to beat that. I also don't know how we're ever going to deal 50 damage with this deck. Opponents seem to keep scooping well before anything too bad happens. It's fine. We got a Duress, we got a card seeing spell, a cast down, and a contempt. If our opponent plays creatures, they're all gonna die. Now, whether or not we want to Evolving Wilds for that red source right now, I actually think I'll hang on to the Evolving Wilds. Because I want to see what land I draw next and what my Anticipate shows. So black-red for the 4th straight game. And I think the best thing to do is to take the Fleet Wheel Cruiser or the Lightning Strike. Fleet Wheel Cruiser is an interesting one. It is an investment of mana. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cruiser. The card with the highest upside. There was some debate to letting it sit because it gives our opponent the least incentive to crack their Bomat Courier. Yep, hello. Apparently, if you play this starter Grixis pile, you will play against all of the black-red starter piles. But that's okay. I designed it to be competitive with that deck. It is what I had in mind. Alright. I think we'll just cast these down. I just hate Bomat Couriers and want them gone from my life. They annoy me. They annoy me greatly. They're very good. That's the main reason they're annoying. There's Scraps. That is a card we wish to Vraska's Contempt as soon as possible. It's interesting that if this person follows the Young CGB series, and that's where they built their deck from, it's interesting that they might know my entire collection. If they follow closely enough, they could know every card I might play. All right, Brazen Scourge. This is gonna hurt. All right, we definitely want land. Let's see what land we get with our Anticipate first. All right, Drowned Catacomb. That's great. Because this now we can go get a mountain and be all set on mana. We have a Braid and we have Fatal Push. I do want Vraska's Contempt though, this Scrap Heap Scrounger, and I would love to do it while my opponent's tapped out. So that they can't maybe Lightning Strike it or somehow kill it in response, so that it's in the graveyard instead of exiled. Once it's exiled, it does not come back. And coming back is what makes Scrap Heap Scrounger a good card. Otherwise, a 2-mana 3/2 that can't block would only get played every now and then. Not in every single aggressive deck in the format, like Scrap Heap Scrounger. I'm looking at graveyards a lot, just to try to think of what to expect, as well as think about what my Gearhulk does. And getting a Vraska's Contempt, of course, is awesome. The Scourge keeps coming. Glory Bringer is sweet. I'm going to go ahead and push Ballista now before the opponent gets to untap with it, I think. Let me think about this. I guess they could go for a pump on their Ballista. I actually wouldn't even mind the extra damage point because it's like a time walk. I will pass the turn here. If my opponent wants to spend 4 mana pumping this Ballista, it's like they took their whole turn to do only 1 extra damage. Okay, they're going for another Scourge. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I wish I could Fatal Push one of those, but right now I can't. Alright, let's Braid for sure. We need a mountain off the top for Glorybringer. There aren't a lot of cards in the deck we can't cast. The top of our deck should be friendly. Almost any land is a good draw. Of course, if it comes into play tapped, we have to wait a turn. Okay, that's a good draw. That is a good draw. We will exert. Without question, we want that Scourge dead. Thank you, Glory Dragon. You have brought glory to your house, and I believe you have completed our cast so many creature spell quest just by resolving. You have done your family proud. So the cards we know about in our opponent's hand are Lightning Strike, and it looks like another Walking Ballista. Oh, tap land. Not great. Our opponent can get in for 3, then fling for 3. We may have to do some real shenanigans to get out of this one. They can almost kill us. They are mana short because they could pump this. Ooh. They're going to kill the Glorybringer. That could be a big mistake. Our opponent showing a lot of confidence here. Making sure that Glorybringer dies. What they could have done is 4 mana, pump Walking Ballista, attack with it. Next turn I untap and attack with Glorybringer and exert it. And my opponent would what? They would sack the Ballista, they would put me at 3, and the next turn they would cast Lightning Strike and I would die. The only way I'd be in that is by Torrential Gearhulk, Vraska's contempting my own Glorybringer. It's not great. Aethersphere Harvester. It's a problem. I think it means I have to get a Braid instead of Vraska's Contempt, which is a big deal. Ooh, don't crew it. Don't crew it. It can't attack this turn. Oh, that is going to hurt you more than you know. Oh, no, opponent, no. Because now I can Torrential Gearhulk, and I can Vraska's Contempt the Aethersphere Harvester. I wouldn't have been able to do that if it weren't crewed. Oh, no. Oh, my poor opponent. But it's a skill game. Your decisions matter. Your oops moments matter. You've seen them punish me. You've seen them punish our opponents. So that's a big oops, bigger than they know. We still have to deal with this Ballista, but our opponent's at 15. We only need 3 attacks from the Gearhulk. We draw Syncopate. Do we attack our opponent? They can make their Ballista a 4 and attack us to 6. The next turn we attack again. They make their Ballista a 3 and attack us to 0. We cannot attack. Oof. We win it. We are losing the race at this time. Yep. And the Ballista is getting bigger, getting stronger. You can feel the suspense as we draw lands. Ugh. It stings, it burns. And our opponent draws lands. What's gonna happen? One more land and they can do 2 Ballista activations a turn. Oh no! 5 straight lands off the top. No, wait. 5 out of 6. Syncopate off the top for the... Sorry. Chandra off the top for the opponent. Syncopate to take it out. The one non-land card we've drawn in the last 5 or 6 turns.
Feel my pain!
It will get us another chance here. Oh yeah, we did it. Okay. Let's get in there. Let's do it before our opponent can untap and add another counter. If we might catch them paying mana to make this bigger, and that's kind of a greedy play, because if they're smart, they'll see us suddenly attack, which we haven't done in many turns, and then they'll know that there's a removal spell, and they will attack first, and they will not pump it until we try to remove it. So we should do this now. We should not do it on their turn when they have mana available. A smart opponent would play around that. It's important to treat our opponents as smart. Oh no, he didn't use it at all. Some of you are gonna want to make jokes, memes, or clips based on that. Those last few sentences. Treat your opponents as smart is still good advice. Sometimes they prove otherwise. With a little mistake, such as not kicking their Ballista counters. But it doesn't look like it'll matter this game. Our opponent also has drawn a lot of land, and it looks like they're down to their last card. Is it an Abrade? Even if it is, we have the negate, and our opponent's going to shoot themselves with the Lightning Strike. They could have gotten us to 2. So in the end, that mistake didn't matter. The mistake with the Aethersphere Harvester, though, I'm confident was a big deal. I don't think I could have beaten that Aethersphere Harvester if I didn't get to Vraska's Contempt in that exact spot. Woo! Okay. Let's see, in 50 damage we get a white-green deck. That's fun, but I'm comfortable waiting to unlock that. Let's do some final pack cracks. We got 11,000 gold. Let's go to the store. Let's cash in. I'm still on Dominaria. I explained the reasons in a previous video for the curious. Let's grab those. Let's see what we get. Not so much. But it's mostly about this, the wild cards. And about filling the vault too. But the vault's a whole other subject. Basically, but if you open a lot of things from the same sets and the same packs, eventually you get a bunch of free wild cards. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of the vault. You see, we're working on a mythic now. Phyrexian scriptures, it's all coming together. And one more for the road. And you see another mythic right around the corner. So, let's go take one more look at the collection, particularly on rares and mythics. Because people, you know, they'll always talk about card acquisition and things like that. We have 15 common and 15 uncommon wildcards we have not used. Those are hanging out, so we can pretty much craft at will. When it comes to rares and mythics, you look around, we do have a good amount of them. We've opened plenty of Planeswalkers. The Kaladesh set has, of course, kindly given us a bunch of things. Brewer's Delight got us all these Regal Caracals. So that's going well. We've got multiple Sais and multiple Tempest Djinns. The decks, I think, like a History Lesson helped with that. So, you know, again, just going back, if I had been this, give you some perspective. If in my third week of playing Magic back in 1994, 95, whatever it was, 94, I'm confident. If my third week of playing Magic, I had had this many cards to work with, this many decks to build, God, I would have been in heaven. My best card after 3 weeks of Magic was a Crawworm that I personally owned. A Crawworm. Do you know what that is? It's a 6/4 vanilla. It's 6/4 for 6 mana with no abilities. That was my best card. So you have a better start in Magic than I ever did. Anything close to anybody in my generation ever did. And you've got YouTube, you've got Twitch, you've got websites dedicated to the game to lead you along. You are in a beautiful place for Magic. There's not much to be complaining about and frustrated about, to be honest. You can be mad that Control exists. You can be mad that red decks exist. You can be mad that any specific card exists. But man, trust me, I sound like an old person when I say it, but it's true. You have it so good. You have it so good. In just 3 weeks, you have all these awesome dragons and all these awesome decks that you can build. You can probably build about 50 decks with the cards you have right here. Will they all be perfectly competitive? No, but they can all be a theme. They can all be an expression of your own creativity if you want them to be, or they can be net decks just designed to win games. And you can go take out your competitive side on the internet world anytime you want to without driving to the game store. Oh my goodness. I know. I'm just an old timer, but if you are just getting into Magic and this is your first series in Magic, dude, the best game in the world is at your fingertips. It's fun to play. It looks great. Sure, there's a bug here and there. Sure, there are some cards you don't like, but man, is it nice. It's the greatest. I hope you make the most of it. I hope that this series has gotten you into Magic and that you stay in Magic. So 20 years from now, you can pass it on with a YouTube series of your own on whatever, like, Oasis-based virtual reality system we play the game. Well, we're going to call it a wrap. Thanks so much for watching this series, the Young CGB Adventures. It will probably return, like I said, for whenever the next wipe is, whatever the next set is that comes out, whatever the next open beta is. Join the Discord and stay tuned to the channel. You've graduated. Watch the I guess you would call fully unlocked videos. Learn from those and do enjoy Magic the Gathering. For me, for today, for now, it's me, it's CGB, and I'll see you later.